we've had these conversations already. We've had these conversations already. We've had these as an agenda. I think this is the third time already we've had this.
And every time we have these
It's
meetings,
just-
we
it's the
discuss the
same-
same thing.
same
and
answers.
we talk about the same thing of double taxation, triple taxation.
Okay, all right, so here's what we'll do. I will go back to council and, excuse me, I'll go to the judge and the commissioners and just say that the council wants to see more of a commitment to working together. We're willing, but we want to see more of a commitment, i.e. working on roads and, various other things. I know when we did that, that's the thing, Hector, correct me if I'm wrong, but they charged us pretty handsomely for that. And so, and again, we worked together, and it was city and county working together, but we paid, and I don't know if we paid market price, and that's kind of the hard thing to gauge.
I don't recall exactly, but I do know that it was pretty steep because that's when we started talking about, let's just go outside and not even do the interlocal agreement because it was pretty steep.
Are we referring to Moreno Street?
Probably, that's the most recent one. All right, well, council, I'll do that, and then we'll come back, it'll come back again next week, and I won't be here, but I'll give a report
Is
to
there
you
a
to give
deadline
to that.
for this stuff? What is there a deadline for this?
No, not really. They've already paid for it. The service is already in place. They're just looking to be
I
reimbursed.
think majority of the entities are starting off at the new budget,
Yeah.
to start with the new budget.
October.
So before, who used to pay for it?
Well, they covered it largely when we were on the council before. Remember?
See, I thought we had stopped it.
Now, then,
Because
Well,
we did.
we asked them if they would allow us to forego a couple payments, if you guys remember that, when Luna was judge. And they allowed that because our contract called for an annual payment of, I believe it was $75,000. So there was a couple of years in there that we didn't, because we couldn't afford it. And they allowed
It was
it.
more than that, it was more than 75,000, yes.
Seems like I remember. Okay, well, with that, council, between now and the next meeting, I'll meet with the county and try to get some more information. I'll give it to Mayor Pro Tem, and he can announce that to you guys at the next meeting. With that, okay, we have a motion and a second. Those who made a motion second, please ask, remove to table this item. So who was the first?
Me.
Okay, Ram,
So I motion to move the item, table it.
table, and the second was by,
it was,
Yes, President.
Garza.
oh, sorry.
who was it? Just give me the, I think I wrote it down.
said acres.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
You said acres.
Second.
Okay, we've got that. Crystal, you got that?
Yes, sir.
All right, there is a motion to second to table the item. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, thank you, council. Next up, item 8C, discuss and consider authorizing the selection of the contractor for the invitation for bids received for the Texas Department of Agriculture, Texas CDBG contract number such and such for the sewer system improvements. This is an action item regarding our grant. Need a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Leal, second by Councilwoman Trevino. City Manager?
I'm gonna defer to Ms. Moran and the engineer, I think is on the call, as well regarding this project. This project, council, just to give you, is a Bar Street project, out at the wastewater plant. I'll let Ms. Moran explain kind of, the engineer kind of where we are.
This is AC.
Yes, sir.
Is this invitations for bids or?
No, sir, this, we came before you all, last month and submitted, authorization to submit invitations to
I'm
bids.
sorry.
Yeah, and so the invitation to bids, we received, some, proposals, and we are here with this agenda item. And Mr. Raul Garcia, the engineer for this project, I believe we have him on there. Can you hear us, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, I can.
I'm gonna turn this over to you to you can explain the process when we open the bids and the outcome.
Okay, great. Good evening, council, mayor. We had a bid opening, on May 3rd, 2 p.m. We had 3 bidders. The low bidder, came in at $309,700, and we had 2 others that were, a lot higher than that. But I checked their references, and they came back with flying colors to, that it would be great to have this company that was a little bidder to do this work at the wastewater treatment plant.
Are they
Right
bonded?
now,
Are they bonded? Sorry. Doesn't hear me.
Yes, Raul, the question is, from Councilman Leon, is this company, that you're recommending, are they bonded?
yes, they are. They were bonded, excellent references, and I did speak to them today, just to make sure everything was good on their bid, and it was confirmed. So, what we're going to do, I think right now we're going to delay just a little bit, on awarding this contract to the, to Avila Construction. We have a couple of items that need, to be done on the administrative end on the TDA website. And once those items get done, then we can go move forward on awarding Avila Construction this contract.
And how much, what's the portion that we're putting in, Fred?
It's a little over 70,000, it's in your,
75?
70,000. The 47 was our match, and then we had, it was an overrun of cost. And so if you look at the packet, I believe it's a little over 70,000, is that right, Mr. Garcia?
Okay.
Yes.
The budget, sir, if you can go over to,
We have it right here.
you have it?
Yeah.
So, it's a good project, council, and the bar screen would be a really good thing for the wastewater treatment plant. I think Hector could probably talk all day about the bar screen, but it would be a good investment, and we believe it's something that's worthwhile. It will take time. What's happening, council, with a lot of these projects, it's not the construction that's taking time, it's the fabrication. Fabrication is taking, for this bar screen, we're talking over a year, just to fabricate it. And we're talking, the clarifier project that Hector was working on, the other project, about the same time, about a year to fabricate. The construction time doesn't take long at all, probably 60 to 120 days, but waiting for the product is what's taking a long time. So you won't see you won't see this work probably for a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But anyway, just wanted to make sure the council was aware.
Thank you.
So, we're recommending that we table this item only because, we had a meeting with, TDA, Texas Department of Agriculture, this afternoon. We do need to, submit the environmental, report, and the state then has to publish for comments for 15 days. And once that's done, then they will send us an approval that, we are cleared to go, and then we can, select and execute the contract at the same time, once we get that environmental clearance. So the recommendation is that we table this item.
We've got a motion and a second, do you concur with that?
Yes,
Okay,
I
with that?
retract my motion and I'll move forward to table the item.
At the recommendation of the assistant city manager and Mr. Reno, you're okay with that? All right.
Yes.
That being the case, is there any questions? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Yolanda, item 8D, discuss and consider resolution number 20240501, awarding the city bank's depository contract and authorizing the city manager to execute an agreement for this service.
Motion.
This is an action item, motion by Councilman Leal, second by Councilwoman Hernandez.
You just adding, right?
Finance Director,
Okay.
you're up. Monica.
Based on the past history and relationship with the bank, I'd like to recommend that to award the bid for the City of Pearsall's depository services to Security State Bank.
You've got in your packet, I think, all the information that reflects that, that which has been our current depository for, total number of years.
Several years.
Several years.
Yep.
That being the case, is there any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second to approve Security State Bank. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to item 8E. discuss and consider authorizing the city manager to negotiate and enter into a contract allowing Elston Johnson and Associates to prepare and submit the City of Pearsall WIA risk and resiliency assessment. This is an action item. City manager is going to discuss that.
I'm gonna defer that to Hector.
For that, Hector, but first, can I ask for a first and second? Motion by Councilwoman A. Garza, second by Councilwoman R. Garza. Hector, you're up.
Have to roll up our sleeves for this one here. I'm gonna do my best to try to explain what this is, for in case y'all not aware of what this is. To the best of my knowledge, I believe in 2018, the federal government, let's keep that in mind, came down with a requirement, passed down a law, SB 3, Senate Bill 3, which included this OEA requirement. It's a very extensive requirement. It's what it is, what it breaks down to is a risk and resiliency assessment of the city of Pearsall, because it's got more than 3,300 residents in it. So it's a mandate. There's no way around it. You know, we have to do this. And basically what that means is it's in case of an emergency or a malavent, whether it's natural or vindictive, and it's targeted towards our public water system. Primarily, this is our public water system. So the city of Pearsall has to have an assessment, an emergency response plan in place that meets all the requirements of this OEA thing here that's mandated by the federal government. This is an EPA thing. Normally we answer to TCEQ, and the TCEQ has its own version, which we've already submitted. That one's called the EPP. So this is basically sort of the same thing, but it's on a grander scale. This is way more labor intensive. We have to, in case something happens, we have to be ready for whatever, you know, whether it's an act of God or somebody, a person or anything, any natural cause can trigger this response plan that we're supposed to have in place. Now, we were supposed to have done it by 2023. We missed that boat, and now they're asking us to expedite.
Hector's been getting calls from the EPA about this, having this done. It's, the OEA stands for the American Water Infrastructure Act of 2018. This is again a federal law that was passed down back in 2018. So, again, part of, it's a lot of information, a lot of data gathering, and then putting the document together is pretty much what these folks will do. It, you know, when we put documents together, it is a lot of legwork. But in this case, we know we need help from an outside agency to get this done. As you can see, we're not the only community. Most communities allow another group to do this. Mr. Johnson was a former employee of TCEQ, so he knows as far as the regulation side. So that's what we're recommending, to go with Mr. Johnson to do this. And we have to. And the only reason we didn't take more time is we do have to get this done. This has to be done. I don't know what the consequences, but I'm assuming that we don't get it done, probably some fines. But we do need to show that we are moving forward with getting this prepared.
And we have a estimated price there?
Yes, sir. It's 46. What is it? $46,000. We did talk to another firm. They were considerably higher. This is a professional service, so we're asking for approval of this item, and hope to have it done this year, and make EPA happy for a little bit.
Another one of
It's
those
recurring.
unfunded mandates. Unfunded mandates, you must do that.
And it's reoccurring I believe every 5 years we have to do this again.
I don't know, yeah, we just have to update it. I hope the
Yes.
amount isn't $40,000, but if it is, then so be it. But it is something that we need to get done, and I apologize for not probably addressing this earlier. If I missed the vote, I mean, I don't know, I don't recall seeing this, but anyway, it is what it is.
Okay, council, what's your pleasure? We've got a motion and a second. Is there any other questions?
There's no further discussion if it's mandated.
Yeah, exactly.
It's ugly. Matt, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of allowing the city manager to enter into that contract, please say aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, on item 8F, there is a desire to complete the Ethics Commission. You guys can look on page 170, on 212. So before we go to this, this is the appointment of individuals. So do you all have somebody that you're gonna appoint that is willing to serve on this committee? This is an action item, and we need to appoint people that are willing to serve, so, anybody? Is there anybody that,
I believe the terms, just to interrupt, yes, the terms are expired, and Crystal could probably touch on this. I think the terms are expired, just expired, well, help me.
Yeah.
Crystal, do we have a roster of who's
In
going to serve?
January, yes. Currently, right now, seated is Lisa Chavana, Cheryl Castillo, Galen Frazier, Belinda Gonzalez, Maria Trevino, Letty De Leon, and Maria Medrano.
Okay, and they just expired?
Correct. In January.
Okay, do we know if they wanna serve again, or is there anybody on council that has somebody that they'd like to appoint?
Because I believe the last time we let all council members, with the exception of the mayor, pick, a person that they wanted. If I remember correctly, that's kind of.
But don't we have to ask those people first, or?
I would say if they're willing, but you guys have the opportunity to appoint one. He didn't, I'm not allowed to do it because I was gonna appoint Fred. He said that's.
Mistake.
I second that.
Okay, all right, so, council, what we're gonna do, since we're not prepared for this, please be prepared next meeting and reach out. Each of you has the opportunity to appoint one person. We need to keep this in place. So please, get with, our city secretary and look at those people and talk to them. And if they don't want to, please have someone that can serve on this committee, because it's important to have it. But with that being the case, since we don't have any data on that, I'm gonna move past item 8F, and I'm gonna ask for a motion, a second to table. Motion by Councilwoman Talamontes, second by Councilwoman Argarza. All in favor of tabling this item, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to item 8G, discuss and consider resolution number 2024-0502, authorizing signatures for the bank depository which is approved. That item can be found on
Motion.
page, there's a motion.
Second.
It is a motion by Councilman Leal, second by Councilwoman A. Garza. That is Ben Briscoe, Fred Reyes, Yolanda Moran, Crystal Garza, and Monica Yance. There's a motion and second. Any questions? Call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Motion passes unanimously. Going on to item 8H, discuss and consider approval of the 24-25 fiscal year balance budget calendar. Excuse me, I jumped the gun. I said balance, but we're assuming it's going to. Imbalance. You heard his words there. I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Leal, second by Councilman Trevino. City Manager,
I'm gonna refer to the finance director. so
Finance
she's-
Director, you have the floor.
Okay.
Page number
214,
214.
yes.
All right, on page, please turn to page 214.
So I did have time to evaluate the budget dates and deadlines from last year's fiscal year, and I feel like we needed to finish a little sooner, just in case there's time remaining for revisions, any revisions to the tax rate, and then for us to go back and recalculate if we have to. So you'll see that everything's kind of starting a little bit sooner. So this past Monday, we've already started our full day of budget meetings with department heads, so that went really well. You should finish that on Friday, same thing, full day of meeting with department heads to go over their budgets. Friday, June 7th, we'll have a draft of a preliminary budget. On the 20th, we'll have a tentative timeframe for us to discuss with the department heads, kind of what the final product is, just department-wise. Then on page 216, you can see kind of the timeframe for the budget dates. That will start to include city council on having a special meeting, special city council meeting on July 2nd to evaluate and present the proposed budget for the next fiscal year. Of course, going into the rest of July, doing the budget workshops with city council and staff the week of July 22nd to 26th. Continuing on through to August 13th for approval of the budget and the tax rate. Now, the tax rate hearing dates and the balanced approval for the budget Those dates are tentative, of course, if there's timeframes that won't work for city council members or staff, we can evaluate and adjust those as necessary. A balanced budget must be approved no later than September 30th in accordance with state law.
All right, council, we've got our timeline down, staff is definitely on it. We got any corrections or additions to that calendar? All right, we've got a motion and a second to approve it. All in favor, say aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Monica. Item 8I, discuss and consider act on a preliminary plat for legal description B2